Welcome. I'm Lisa Anick. I'm the library director here at the Ypsilanti District Library. Thank you for joining us for our artist reception today. At YDL, we believe that in addition to enhancing our public spaces, art can be a teacher, a mirror, and an inspiration. When the Superior Branch Library opened in 2022, we decided we wanted to collect some vibrant public art, not only to fill the space, but also to fill the imaginations of everyone who visit. We formed a committee to seek works from local artists, and we wanted works that depicted the stories of our community. In 2023, we selected 4 pieces which we celebrated all during 2024. And in 2024, we selected 3 additional pieces which we're here to celebrate today. We have 2 of our artists, our selected artists with us. They're very talented. They work in very different mediums. And then they each were asked to hold a workshop here at the library this year. One has taken place. One is coming in just a couple months. And now they're coming together to give us more insight on their creations, and we're so grateful to have them. Our MC for today's interview is Liz Warren, the director of Riverside Art Center, who is a wonderful friend of YDL. She has called Ypsilanti her home for over 18 years. And with a passion for community building, Liz leverages her extensive experience in fundraising and relationship building to contribute to the vitality of her surroundings. She is particularly enthusiastic about fostering connections and learning through art, as well as creating intentional and inclusive spaces across various aspects. As a devoted supporter of Ypsilanti's thriving arts community, Liz is eager to facilitate collaborations between local artists and the wider community. And by leveraging the abundant resources available at the Riverside Art Center, she aims to create more opportunities for both groups. Liz recently earned her certificate in fundraising management. And I am delighted to invite Liz to and thank you so much.
Hi, welcome to this. I'm so excited about this. I was on the committee, the art committee, so I got to be part of the jury and choosing these pieces and getting to see them in person for the first time is such an experience. I'm excited for other people to be able to see them and experience them, and then also get a little background information about the person who created the piece and what it meant to them. So I'd love to start off by just having you introduce yourselves, say your name, the name of your piece, and then one random fact that you either just know or about yourself. or just like, that turtles can breathe out of their butt if they have to. That's true.
I've got lots of random thoughts about myself.
Okay, I'm here for it.
I'm Monica Prince, and I actually have been a textile artist since 2002 when I graduated from Eastern with a textile degree. Well, it was a degree in fine arts with a concentration in textiles. But I've been working with fabrics probably since I was like 8, 9 years old. And my mother was going blind, and I had 2 younger sisters, and my older sister, she taught how to sew, and she couldn't teach us. So she got a friend of hers, who was a retired seamstress from Chicago, to teach us how to sew, and it was like the most exciting thing in the world for me. So I've been sewing since I was about 8, 9 years old, and I guess that's my random thought.
Okay, very cool. Thank you.
My name is Paloma Núñez Regueiro. I'm a printmaker here I live in Ann Arbor, Michigan. We have been living there for the past 9 years. I graduated from the Rochester Institute of Technology in 2000 with a concentration in painting and printmaking. And random, what can be random a bit about me? I have a collection of books.
Okay, great. What is your most prized book?
My most prized book. I don't know if it is my most prized book because you can buy it anytime, but one that I have read 4 times is 100 Years of Solitude.
100 Years of Silence.
Yeah, and it has a different taste and different feeling every time I read it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I love that. We get book recommendations at a library event. Way to tie it together. Well done. All right, let's start talking about you and your art a little bit. What first sparked the idea for the work that you submitted, the piece that is in the library now, and how did your process evolve as you brought it to life?
My piece is printed textile, actually. And I started, actually, I did one piece before this one. And I decided I just wanted to push it a little further. And I had done a class with Jane Dunawall, who is a famous textile artist from Texas. And she had come to Ann Arbor and was doing a workshop. And so I took her workshop, and it was on a particular type of printing that she does. And so I learned on this first piece, and then with this piece, I just took it a little farther, and I just love color. I absolutely love
It's a
color.
very vibrant
And
piece.
yes, and the technique I absolutely love, because you use the same print or the same screen to print, and you just keep changing the color on it. So it just,
Does that make the colors bleed together a little bit, or they mix and then
some of them
become their own
mix.
color?
Other ones, you have to make sure that you go on the color wheel. Otherwise, they'll just brown. But if you go in order, it just lives this vibrant colors. And then my favorite thing about is sewing is I get on my sewing machine with the piece, and I add freehand machine embroidery. I add couching threads and yarn on it, and just keep adding layer after layer.
Remind me the name of the piece that you.
It's you're gonna ask me that. I don't know.
You go look.
Yeah.
We'll go look.
In future.
Bright
Bright
future.
Bright futures, yeah. Actually, the piece got changed, the name of it got changed several times before I submitted it, so I can never remember which one I
So it
said.
was living with you for a long time without a name. You didn't feel like you needed to name it.
Well, it changed names.
Okay.
It was like one name, and then I went, not quite right. But a lot of my stuff hangs in my basement, design board for a long time before I submitted it. Yeah, sometimes it just needs something to add to it.
Thank you. Well, your piece is called Breathe In, Breathe Out, is that right?
Yes.
Do you want to talk about what first sparked the idea for that piece, and then how your process evolved as it came to life?
Well, the piece sparked during a trip to the south of Mexico. We were in this small villa, and there were some open spaces around it where I found these leaves laying on the ground. And they weren't really considered part of the environment. Like they were kind of unimportant because of the amount of them that they're laying on the ground from this huge tree that is called guadumo. And it only grows in south of Mexico and Central America and the Caribbean. And some parts is called guarumo, some parts is called jagrumo, and it turns out that these leaves are like this big when they fall from the tree.
Wow.
And then as I picked them and put them on the table, I saw how they started to dry and turn into very particular shapes, and that none of them were the same. So I made the effort to think if I can take these leaves here, but since we are not allowed to bring anything vegetable or animal from other countries, I just used my camera. I took as many pictures as I could, and I brought these images with me back to Ann Arbor. And here I started researching about the leaf and trying to see what the leaf was. I was attracted to the leaf, but I wanted to know what the leaf wanted to say to me. You know, how can I connect with this beautiful, unique shape? So I found out that the guarumo has medicinal powers. It is good for diabetes and rheumatism and heart conditions and skin conditions. Like, there is a medicinal quality to this plant, and the idea that it only grows in the area of the Caribbean, in the middle of the continent, the whole continent, south of Mexico to Colombia, more or less. And then I started observing in these pictures that they were very complicated. So that was a challenge, how to draw these leaves. So I started drawing the leaves, thinking that maybe I could make them into a print, but it was a very complicated process. So I really didn't know it was a challenge. And by drawing them quietly, I realized that these leaves have in them veins that are similar to rivers and mountains, and little holes that look like constellations where the animals ate. And the same constellations also look like chemical formulas, and that there were valleys and rivers that also look like veins in our body. So I realized that as it is above, it is below, and that we are just a part of the universe that is connecting in some way. And since this leaf comes from Latin America, I realized that, well, my work has a lot to do with community and migrations, that they are just like us, Latinos coming to a new space, and that we are not different from the rest of the ethnic groups, that we're just humans living our life here and sharing and creating communities. So that's what the work started to be about. And I call that whole collection, because so many prints came out of those drawings, so many prints, that I call that series Essays on Invisibility. And that's how I started to talk to people about their experiences of how they feel invisible in majoritarian societies. And that's a process that has been going for years. And so this piece, Breathe In, Breathe Out, is specifically referring to the idea of moving from one place to the next one in the migration form, that neither you can do it legally. Some people does it legally, but it still takes a lot to pick up everything, to leave a lot behind, and to start in a new place and start that journey. And my family and I, we have had many migrations. We have lived here and in Mexico and Argentina, in Peru, in different countries, and it is not the same to do it as a child because your parents are taking care of you, but for us, taking care of our children and having to pack everything and move to the next place requires that breathing in and out through the whole process until you land in the new place, and you still have to take deep breaths, and you still have to accept where you are and create community, one breath at a time. Yeah, so that's what this piece is about. That's really beautiful.
I think a lot about when you look at things through a microscope, how similar they look at aerial views, like aerial views of some things, and that connectivity, and that almost everything just goes back to a circle. That's what we all come from. Yeah, beautiful. And I love the sentiment that you just shared, because that's how I felt about it when we decided where to put it. It's right by the front door, right there. And then you kind of get here and you center yourself and you're ready to dive into whatever world the library offers to you that day. So I love that it's there for that. Thank you. All right, well, now your pieces are part of a public space that welcomes people of all ages and backgrounds. How does it feel to have your work displayed in a library? And what do you hope visitors might take away from it?
I guess for me, it's just fabulous to have my piece out there so that everybody can see. And I really hope that it does bring beginnings for people that, when I was doing this piece, it's sort of one of a series that, I started making after my husband died. And I had this crazy image of a couple of months after he died. I don't know if anybody knows, Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Oh, yeah. Classic.
Well, I suddenly had this vision of the curtains opening. And, you know, when he's going into Toontown and everything's opening up and the sun's shining and singing. And my thought was, okay, this is a new me. And, you know, I could just create whatever I wanted to. And I think that's the thing I want to push people to look at is there's always, I mean, you could have all kinds of things going on, but there's always a bright spot in the middle. You know, I hope people come and are encouraged to take that next step.
Oh, that's really nice. It is a very inspiring piece. I think it's in one of the study rooms. I would love to study in that room and stare at it and just be so depressed about whatever math I'm doing and look out and be like, oh, there's a bright spot in my day right there. That's it.
Well, for me, I feel like my work is my goal, and my goal is to work for my community. So having this piece shared in a community space means a lot. It's such an honor. I want for people to connect with it and know that I'm thinking of them, that the library with all the people that they bring into our community, and that we are there holding each other and being together and thinking of each other. So just for me, it's for them to give them an invitation to just take a breath and keep going.
Okay. So often artists draw from different mediums, traditions, or themes. Do you see any connections or contrast between your work and the work that the other one created? Have you looked at each other's pieces? Have you seen Paloma?
Yeah.
Do you see any commonalities or differences or thematics?
Well, the silk screening, I mean,
Sure.
it's very different. The silk screening that you do and the screening that I do. But there is a commonality, I think.
Yeah, silk screening and relief printmaking are kind of cousins. They come from the same printmaking tradition, or anything that we can call printmaking. So I definitely see a connection in it. Art is for the people, so I see the connection there too. And we both like colors, so definitely there is a connection.
Yeah. Thank you. All right, every artwork has hidden moments of challenge or discovery. Was there a turning point or unexpected surprise during the making of your piece? You touched on it a little bit earlier.
Yeah, it, a little bit, the whole idea of where I'm going. But also, it took me a long time to decide that it was finished.
That's hard.
It really was difficult with this piece, because I kept looking at it. I'm not sure yet, and it just hung there. And it hangs in my basement in a place that I walk through to get to the laundry and everything. And it just was very difficult to figure out. And finally, actually, I have an art group that I took it to them and I said, Okay, tell me, what do you think? And they helped me see it. They helped, actually, one of the things that I had a difficult time was trying to decide which was up.
Mm.
And, you know, so we sort of talked a lot and they really helped me with that. So,
Has there ever been a piece that you wish you'd stopped sooner? You wish that you had decided you were done?
I don't think so.
Good, great, no regret, no regret.
No, in fact, every once in a while, I think the piece that's been sitting there for years, maybe if I did this,
Yeah.
it would improve it to some extent. So I'm always working on it.
Well, the process of going from the drawing to the print to creating the actual piece teaches me so much patience. Pacing myself, like I have to get into this mindset that I have to trust the process and stick with the plan, because otherwise it won't work. So I have to be very patient with my color mixing, like the time between, because when I make these prints, you can see that the red is on one print is on top and the other one is at the bottom. So that day I will only print the red parts.
Mhm.
And this is a print that was made in addition.
Mhm.
So I only print these two parts and then I have to hold myself from keep printing because the color is going to get mixed and it's not going to be as solid as I wanted. So it teaches me a lot of patience.
Yeah,
Mhm.
so if you could snap your fingers and fast forward through any part of the process, would it just be the drawing part?
No,
You would let your
I
fine.
will, yeah, I won't snap. I will try to enjoy every minute of it. I love the drawing, I love the carving. So I'm sure you have heard about being in the flow. Yeah, that's what it brings to me. So what a better place to be than just going with the flow and just having this moment of clarity that you only have to concentrate on working on this piece and nothing else.
Like a meditative
Oh,
process.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and I love it. I definitely love it. Yeah.
How does this piece chosen for the library's collection fit into the larger story of your work as an artist? Do we just get one snippet to see of your work here? But obviously you both have large bodies of work. Is it very different from your other work? Yours is part of a series?
Yes.
And you said yours is part of a 3-part series.
That one is, yeah.
So, but everything else outside of that.
The continuum. I started doing a lot of family things. I do thread painting, so I do a lot of the actual drawing with the sewing machine. A lot of my stuff at the very beginning was more family oriented and nature oriented. I have this weird thing about trees.
In a good way?
Yes. Yes. I just love the texture of trees, so I'm constantly playing. I have one piece that I actually sewed the tree with freehand machine embroidery onto a stabilizer that was then put in water and dissolves. So the tree then becomes transparent. I mean, it's just thread. And actually that piece is going at the senior center quite a while, but I'm taking it back. But that, it was much more, the whole thing was more winter theme, because it had a lot of, also I like doing photographs and putting them on fabric and then fusing them onto other fabric that I've dyed. And I love those effects and to just do all kinds of weird things. I like to manipulate that.
Yeah, you're a process, you're a inquisitor. You really like to play with the process material.
Exactly, yeah, like how can you make thread that's gonna stand up on its own? You know.
Have you done that?
Yes.
Oh, she's a magician. Amazing. And Paloma, you were talking about your process and you were talking about the natural world really informing that work and then
Yes.
seeing what the natural world is bringing to your work and how you are supposed to receive it, what it's trying to tell you, what you get back to it in that way. Does that permeate how you do all of your artwork, or are there some things that you don't base on nature?
I feel like the work is like a continuum of a thought for me. I don't just dismiss this subject to jump to the next one. It's like one is connected to the other in some way. So this collection of essays on invisibility gave place to the next collection, which is Counted Uncounted, so you know us. But from that one, I go directly, instead of just collecting the stories, I go and collect the likeness of people and create portraits in linoleum, but it started from those essays. So they start sharing their experiences with me. I get to record them. That is part of the art experience, listening to the stories and seeing this collection of portraits. And that's an ongoing process with the linoleum relief printing as a medium, but also is community oriented, also invites other people to participate. But maybe from there, I move a little bit to the side and explore into some idea that I have that comes another project, like book that I just finished, like art book that I just finished printing, but still attached. It's like this idea of a plant. I don't know how it's called in English, like a rhizoma, that goes under the ground and keeps popping up in different places, and but still is all from the same plant. So I feel like my work is like that kind of organic artistic experience.
Yeah, like most of the work is going on in here or
Yeah,
underground.
underground.
What we get to see is just like
Yeah.
the shiny flashy part of the thing.
Exactly, yeah, because there is so much under, and I mix the work with what is happening today in our world with the readings that I find along the way. We have a family that just keeps sharing books and have you read this? You have to read this, you have to read that. And we just keep digesting all these stories, theory, novels, poetry, and stuff that it's impossible to just have one project at a time. So yeah, there's so much richness. But I feel like all my work is attached at some point, but everything has to do with community and with minorities and visibility of all of these issues.
I don't have this one written down, but I'm interested from what you both were saying about how your work has grown and where you are now as an artist, and what you would tell yourself as a young artist, like looking back at some of your early works. Obviously, no regrets, right? We're not living in regrets, but is there, if you could tell yourself as a young artist one thing or a couple of things that would help you, is there anything you would say?
I think one of the things I'd say is don't worry about it.
Yeah.
It's, I remember actually one time an art teacher from Ann Arbor, from U of M, critiqued one of my pieces, and it was a situation where I didn't think we were going to have a critique.
Oh no, you must always be able to mentally prepare yourself for a critique.
Yes, well, yeah, but the thing is, it was absolute riot because I thought, God, she hates my piece. And everybody came up to me afterwards and said, I am so impressed that she was so good about you. She loved your piece so much. And I'm going, where did you get that? And I finally, actually, it had been a luncheon for, and actually, I never remember her first name, but her last name is Wada. And she's a Japanese expert on shibori. And she came up to me afterwards and said, she said, "You've got a great piece, you've got a lot of things going on here, you just got to be careful of the color." And I went, "Oh, that's a totally different idea than what I had been getting from this other person." I mean, I was ready to just throw it away. And, she just thought that I need to look at some color. And that's when I started actually learning more about dye. And I was using at that point, store-bought fabrics. And there's such a difference when you can dye your own fabric. Do what colors you want to put in there.
Good for your younger self for being open to the critiques and open to the thoughts that people have.
It really devastated me though. Tough.
Sure, but doesn't the best art come out of, a very strong emotion, right?
Yes, yeah.
So, but yeah, that's super interesting because you say that so much of your work is informed by the colors you like and your use of color. Is that where it started, or did you have a love of color before you got that piece of feedback?
I had a love of color, but I don't think I had the knowledge of color I had after that, because I started actually looking at what do these two colors do together, instead of, oh, that's a nice fabric and that's a nice fabric, but they don't always match or work. They don't have to, they don't always work as, like one thing too.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, that's what I'm talking to my kids. Do you, not you, like, that's something I would tell my kids. They don't do everything that I want them to do when I'm explaining it very well. What advice would you give to yourself?
Well, I feel like I keep reminding myself. I had two professors that I really, really love. And one was when I was 18 and I was at this art studio because first in Mexico, I started my education in Mexico, and for getting into the faculty, the actual university, you have to pass a test and only so many people are accepted. So I didn't get accepted at first. So I went to this studio to work, and this professor always told me that art was like love. You have to tend to it, because otherwise you will go away. So I just keep reminding myself that. And then at RIT, many, many years ago, this other professor, who is still a professor there, Ruban Shepard, he told me that I have to live with my heart and do what I love the most without worrying what people is going to like or not. And I just keep reminding myself that. Just put all the love into your work, and it will be something that people want to share and see and participate. So yeah, it's just a reminder since I was 18 until up to date, and I just keep reminding myself that I have to live with my heart and I have to love what I do. So
it's not always easy to block out the outside voices and things that other people are telling you about your art, just to be able to put your own.
Yeah, and sometimes make a print or any other artwork and it stays in the basement for 3 years. And then somebody comes asking for it. So it's like, oh, so yeah, it doesn't matter. It may take time to get it out into a public space, but it's like there's this level of loyalty to myself to create what we want to create rather than what people will want. Right? So, yeah.
Loyalty to yourself. I've never heard this like that. Something. Well, those are all of my questions. I'm wondering if anybody from the audience has any questions, maybe that they'd like to ask Monica or Paloma.
Monica, when you started getting into your bright colors, how did you determine, if you can say, which colors would look best with each other? Did you just kind of splash them and figure out what you liked, or did certain things fade away with their own?
You mean with this piece itself? Well, the technique I used was from Jane Dunawall. And she had us go through the color wheel. So we started with yellow and then progressed with the color wheel so that you don't get mud. You know, and so there's distinct colors. I also had an instructor, I can't remember who it was right now, but it was a color class I was taking, and they, one of their assignments was to take your least favorite color and put it in a piece. And actually, it really opened my eyes, because I would never, yellow was something that I just never dealt with. I always think yellow makes me look dead. So I never wear yellow. But I started thinking that a lot of my pieces have yellow in it now. And I think it's that bright pop that I need. With this particular piece, it was just trial and error. You know, putting down the color and then deciding something on top of it to disguise it or not.
Yeah. All right, sounds good. Well, then we will close by asking you to share what you're working on now, if you have anything else coming up, if something's inspiring you, what piece you currently are avoiding, working on, anything you'd like to say about what's coming up for you as an artist.
Well, with me, I'm not working with, well, except for the workshop in 2 weeks. I'm not working on any artwork at this point. I've, my work has just gotten crazy, and so I decided I'm gonna hold off on some stuff until I retire in a year and a half. And then I'm gonna be full-time in my studio. So I'm just gonna go crazy after.
What a nice thing to look forward to. What a great retirement.
Yeah.
And I am working on this art book. In June, I finished an artist residency at Signal Return in Detroit. And I created a 51 pages book where I had to create my own pictographic alphabet, and I learned how to set type. Then I printed all these pages, and I print together 22 books. So I'm in my big book at the moment. So I have a long way to go.
How long does each one take you?
Maybe a couple of days to go together. I mean, I have the pages printed, I have some covers made, and then I just have to carefully put all these pages together. And the book was shown at Signal Return, but in October is going to be at Cluster Museum in Ann Arbor. It's a new gallery that is opening, and also at Metro Space in East Lansing, which is a gallery that belongs to Michigan State University. So delighted. One show is about prints, and is in the one that MSU is in connection with their public library about banned books. And the one in here there in Ann Arbor at Cluster Museum is called Dan Broke. It's a show about tyranny, and yeah, it's around 8 to 10 artists, I think, and both of them open over 3rd. So I'm just putting the books together.
You're so close.
So yeah.
Me too. Thank you so much for
Yeah,
being
thank you
here.
for having us.
I hope that you come to see the pieces when you are here returning all 20 of the books that you borrowed and found. You have not lost one, I'm sure, just like me. And thank you so much, Monica and Paloma. Your pieces are a joy to be around,
Thank you
and
for having
I
us.
appreciate the time and effort. So, and thank you to the Ypsilanti District Library.